I voluntarily entered a nursing home, and my 6 biggest regrets. At 82 years old, I thought I understood everything in life. I was once a strict father, a devoted husband, and a grandfather that my grandchildren always called Big Brother. And then one day I voluntarily entered the nursing home, thinking that I was choosing peace for my old age. But no, that was the decision that left me in regret, sorrow, and feeling the loneliest I've ever felt in my life. It's not because this place is terrible, but because there are things that once lost, no place can replace. Would you dare to hear my story? I'm not telling this story to complain. I'm telling it so those who are thinking about the 2 words nursing home should stop for a moment and listen to their hearts. Because sometimes what we need the most isn't a peaceful place to sleep. It's a home with laughter, memories, and someone waiting for us to come back. I know many of you are also considering this option for yourself or your loved ones. Maybe you think it's the safest option, or you've been told it will make life easier. But before you make a decision, I want to share with you 6 things I wish someone had told me before I moved here. Regret number 1, losing freedom. I voluntarily entered the nursing home, and just a few weeks later, I started to feel like I had locked myself in a cage. A golden cage? No. A cage of loneliness. And the first reason I regret it to this day is because I lost my freedom. I am Mr. Minh. I'm 82 years old. My wife passed away early. My children have their own families. I didn't want to be a burden to anyone. I thought, I'll go to the nursing home, at least I'll have someone to take care of me and some old friends to chat with, but the reality was far from what I imagined. I don't blame anyone, but I blame myself for giving up the most precious thing in my old age, the right to live my life on my own terms. At 7 a.m., the alarm goes off. 8 a.m. breakfast. 10 a.m. activities. 12 p.m. lunch. No sleeping in, no eating what I like. If I want to take a longer walk, I have to ask for permission. I used to drive myself to the western region for travel when I was 75, but now just stepping out of the gate is difficult. I'm not me anymore. I remember the first week I was there, waking up in a strange bed, with indifferent walls, with things that weren't mine. I felt like a stranger in my own life. Losing freedom, everything was on a schedule, no room to make choices. The hardest part was realizing once you lose freedom, it's very hard to get it back. You start to accept, get used to the system, and in that process, you lose yourself. Regret number 2, feeling forgotten. There are many elderly people in the nursing home, but not everyone wants to talk. Some are confused, some are depressed, some sit all day looking out the window waiting for their children to come. I tell stories from the past, no one is interested. I ask them how they're doing, they don't respond much. Many times I ask myself, what if I was at home alone, but at least I'd still be myself. On the first day I came here, my children visited me every week. Then it became once every 2 weeks, then once a month, and then, Dad, I'm so busy, I'll visit you next week. I don't blame my children, but I hurt because I know I've removed myself from their lives. I thought I was doing this so they could be more at ease, but it turns out I was slowly disappearing from my own family's life. I once sat alone in the common room, watching others look out the window, hoping someone would remember them today. I know that feeling all too well. It's not because my family doesn't love me. It's because life outside keeps moving and you gradually get forgotten. When you're no longer present every day, people think you're fine and don't need them as much anymore. I once picked up the phone to call my son, but then I put it down because I didn't want to bother him. But then I realized this is my life now, waiting for someone to remember me. Regret number 3, losing purpose in life. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Because everyone thinks a nursing home is a safe, clean, well-equipped place for the elderly. But no one told me that that place took away the most precious thing a person has, purpose in life. Before moving here, I lived with my wife, children, and grandchildren. I tended plants, watered flowers, cooked, picked up my grandchild from school, told stories. I felt useful. One time, my little grandchild ran up and hugged me, saying, "Grandpa, you're my superhero." But the very first night in the nursing home, I couldn't sleep. No children's laughter, no smell of home-cooked meals, no grandpa. I stared at the blank ceiling and wondered, why am I still alive? At the nursing home, everything is orderly. Meal times, nap times, medicine times. But no one asked me if I wanted to paint, plant trees, or tell stories. I'm no longer able to help anyone. No one needs me anymore. And then I realized I had lost the most valuable thing in old age, the feeling that I'm still a part of this world. Now, every morning I open my eyes, but my heart feels empty. I don't blame anyone. I just hope that those who still have elderly parents ask them sincerely, what do they want? What do they need? Don't let them leave the loving home and carry loneliness with them to the end of their lives. Old age doesn't need a soft room. It needs a home where they still feel useful, still a superhero in the eyes of their children. Are you doing that for your parents? When you no longer have anything to care for or aim towards, life loses its meaning. Both the body and mind slow down. Regret number 4, health declines faster than expected at first. I still walked every morning, chatted with people around me. But gradually, I found no reason to get out of bed. The meals here are always on time, balanced but cold. There's no laughter, no stories. No one cares what I like to eat, as long as I eat, that's all. And my body began to quietly wither away. I no longer walked, my vision blurred quickly, my memory noticeably declined. I've never felt myself deteriorating so fast. You might be thinking, there are a lot of elderly people there, why are you lonely? It's true that there are many people, but each person lives in their own world. We hardly talk. Some are difficult, some are confused, some just sit still staring into space. There are days when I don't speak more than 10 words to anyone. And trust me, loneliness kills faster than illness. If you still have parents, don't let them go to places like this unless they really want to. And if you're someone thinking about a nursing home when you get old, think carefully. Choose a place where you live, not just exist. Because at a certain age, what we need the most isn't medicine. It's a caring look, a hand to hold, a familiar laugh. I realized when you stop using your body, you begin to lose it. And in a convenient environment like a nursing home, it's easy to forget that movement is essential to life. Regret number 5, losing privacy and dignity at home. I had my own space, did everything my way. But here, privacy became a luxury. On the first day at the nursing home, I was assigned to share a room with 3 strangers, each with their own personalities, their own schedules. I no longer had any private space for myself. I had to wait for others to turn off the lights before going to bed. I had to ask for permission to use the bathroom. Every part of my life was being watched and controlled. I'm a man who was once an engineer, the pillar of my family. Now I had to wait to be bathed, to shave. I no longer felt like myself. I was no longer a true human being. In advertisements, every nursing home is beautiful, with careful attention, cozy spaces. But the truth is, no one tells you that. Elderly people are often neglected unless family members visit frequently. Many caregivers just go through the motions, lacking human warmth. There were days when no one talked to me. I just sat looking out the window. One time, I had a high fever. I rang the bell and waited more than 15 minutes for someone to come. And they only said one thing, "Please wait, it's busy." I wish I had stayed at home, hired a caregiver, even if it cost more. I wish I had talked to my children and grandchildren more so I wouldn't feel like a burden. And most of all, I wish I hadn't lost the last bit of freedom in my life. If you have elderly parents, please don't rush to send them to a nursing home. Ask them, spend time with them. Because sometimes a phone call, a meal, a hug is more precious than all the comforts that a nursing home can provide. People come and go from the rooms, check regularly, and share rooms with strangers. Even bathing, dressing, everything requires assistance. I had to get used to asking for permission to do the most basic things. Want to bathe? Wait. Want to use the bathroom? ring the bell, and wait some more. Sharing a room with someone else is also a challenge. Not everyone is easy to get along with. And no matter how hard you try, the room here will never really feel like your own. Regret number 6, leaving the nursing home is not as easy as you think. I once thought this was a temporary choice. If I didn't like it, I could leave. But the truth is, leaving isn't simple. One day, I told the nursing home manager that I wanted to leave and go back home. And that was when I realized I had signed a contract with terms and conditions I had never carefully read. I couldn't leave right away. They told me I needed a guardian, financial security, and medical verification. I felt like a prisoner in my own decision. That's when I understood nursing homes are not a place to rest. They're a place to give up everything, both freedom and dignity. My house is empty. My children have changed many things. My health has declined, making me no longer confident about living alone. I slowly lost the ability to go back to my previous life. Once you move here, the nursing home becomes your entire world, and the outside world gradually becomes a distant memory. I'm not saying all nursing homes are bad, but I advise you, read the contract carefully, visit and observe before making a decision. And above all, talk to your children. Don't stay silent like I did. Final words. Looking back, I don't regret getting old. I regret ever thinking that the nursing home was the only choice. So if I could go back, would I choose differently? Yes. I would stay at home. Even alone, I could still plant trees, clean the house, cook, call friends. I want to live, not just exist according to someone else's schedule. Not all nursing homes are bad, but before making a decision, you really have to understand what you will be giving up. Because once you enter, life will never be the same. If I could do it again, I'd try harder to stay at home, find ways to receive support without giving up my freedom. And I hope you, if you're considering it, ask yourself, is this truly the best thing for me? Or just the easiest option right now? The life you have, your habits, independence, and right to choose deserves to be kept for as long as possible. If you've ever thought about putting your parents in a nursing home, or if you're in one yourself, leave a comment. We'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more real stories that touch the heart. Like, share if you're thinking about old age or have loved ones who need this. And remember, freedom is something we thought we had until it's gone.